row, row, row your boat gently down the stream.
8-month-old Rory owes his life to a simple blood test that was done soon after his birth. Born with a serious heart defect, he has already undergone 2 major surgeries. But in the hours after his birth, nobody suspected that anything was wrong.
He looked quite well. We were quite shocked when we found out that he was so poorly. So we could quite easily have been sent home with him.
The only thing that stopped doctors from sending Rory home is what's known as the pulse oximetry test. By measuring the oxygen levels in his blood, staff quickly picked up that he had a heart condition. But getting the test is a postcode lottery, and it often plays on Rory's mother's mind.
Potentially Rory wouldn't be with us today if it wasn't for the pulse oximetry testing. I find it really quite upsetting to think that it's not offered to every baby.
This doctor in Birmingham is pushing for the test to be made mandatory across the NHS.
We hear stories from parents whose babies have been sent home without a diagnosis, some of whom have become very ill and sadly some of whom have died. And there's very strong evidence from the USA, where the test is now mandatory, that deaths in newborn babies from serious heart defects has been reduced by 1/3 since the test was introduced.
Around 750,000 babies are born in the UK every year, but only half that amount get screened. This hospital began offering the test as a routine procedure 10 years ago. At 1 day old, baby Rial slept through her test. But just because a procedure is simple doesn't mean it needs to be made mandatory. At least that's what the UK's National Screening Committee argue. They say while pulse oximetry clearly has some benefits in identifying babies with congenital heart disease, as with all national screening programmes, it is vital we also take into account what harm screening all babies may have and whether the benefits outweigh the harms. But Justin and Georgina disagree.
We thought she was going to be smaller than she was, want to make sure everything's working. And plus we're new parents, but it was more reassuring to know I wouldn't want to go and not know certain things about my child before I got home.
Yeah. Rial's name comes from the word reality. Hers at the moment is one filled with a lot of sleep. And while her parents will be getting less of it, her health will be one less thing they have to worry about.